everyone, and welcome back to Season 2 of Off-Branded. I am your Dungeon Master. You can call me Tiny, and I am joined with our fantastical Fae travelers for this season. Just a few notes before we delve into this new season. We are going to be playing Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, with a little bit of some homebrew mechanics in there. And we are actually playing in a world that we built in playing the wonderful map building game called The Quiet Year. So this is a whole new world, all new people, connections to your traditional Dungeons & Dragons lands that you are familiar with, but with our own fun and flair and spins on them. I will be introducing our cast as the campaign gets started, and I think with all of that being said, we're going to go ahead and begin. Starlight, darkness, rays of light, secrets whispered on the winds of time. All of this circles and swirls across all planes of existence. Balance awakens with a start from their cosmic palace from beyond. A flash of light goes across their eyes as they behold the world they truly thought could be parity, could be perfection. All this lost potential, this fallen utopia, surges with a new and profound hope. Interesting, says Balance. Let the symphonies begin. The rainbow tides roll into the shore of the Bay of Glass. A beautiful sun gleams off the towering buildings. Elves and fairies, humans, and as many other fantastical creatures and beings you could think of hurry and scurry through the streets and alleys of this amazing city of glass. Markets are packed with merchants and traders. The large silver sails of a massive pirate ship are being raised and billowing in the warm breeze as it makes its way to set sail on a new adventure. And with adventure on the wind and magic brewing in each corner of this beautiful city, the joyous rings of music and the harsh tones of argument pour out of the Reflector Tavern and Spa. A radiant glass wraparound bar glistens in the center, with many a patron having their fill. A ghostly-looking man stands at the front desk near the entrance to the lodging suite. A beautiful high elf bard dripping in the palest blonde hair that ends in tips of teal and fairy light. It performs a modern and fantastical song on the main stage to delight all of the Reflector's patrons. We turn our gaze from one table to another, scurrying back and forth in the main hall. Near the stage, patrons and stage assistants get ready for the most anticipated performance of the night. The beautiful high elf bard woman seems to be giving directions on how she wants things set up. A loud and booming voice comes from one of the tables near the stage.
"Barmaiden, bring me another mead and rack of lamb."
your character as you bustle from one table to the next, helping our patrons.
Gosh, yeah. So Lux is she's about 20 years old. She is an Asimar. And she's fairly small. She's like 5 feet tall, and she's dressed in kind of like iridescent, kind of like a dancer outfit, like a crop top, and like kind of billowy pants. And she wears like kind of dancer shoes. And she like dances between the tables, in an almost like way that like clearly annoys some people. Like she kind of like gets in some people's way sometimes, and she's like, "Oh, sorry," and she keeps going. But whenever she delivers something or picks up something, she always does it with like a flare, and will like create like magical light that kind of emanates around her and around the drink. So she answers this one patron. She's like, "Oh yes, of course, I will be right there," and then she like spins and like almost like bumps into someone. She's like, "Oh, sorry," and then she heads towards the bar.
You're spinning around to go off and get this man his next order. I want you to go ahead and give me just a straight dexterity check.
I could do it.
Not a saving throw, just a check.
God, I can't do acrobatics.
Dexterity. It's pretty packed in here.
Okay.
13. You know what? Okay, with a 13, yeah, you're definitely in like a lot of people's way. Not just like other servers or patrons. Like you're just, for being as small as you are, you take up so much space with your flair for the dramatics, and you're gonna spin around and make your way off towards the kitchen. Passing through the stage portion of our bar, and you fumble a little bit, but it's not like you're carrying anything. But definitely you get some eye rolls and like okay. Yeah, so you're gonna make your way towards the kitchen. What's on Lux's mind as she's getting ready to like take on her very long shift? Today is a pretty big day here at the Reflector, and you have been told by just about everyone who works here, and this place is huge. It's the largest tavern and spa in the city. It employs roughly 100 people. It's massive. And pretty much everyone at some point or another, whether it's your boss, another server, anyone, has kind of been like, "Lux, gotta be on it today." What's running through Lux's mind?
Yeah, she definitely wants to do her best, but her mind is always kind of racing, and she's very like distractible. So she's also watching you said there was a performance right now, right? There's a bard performing or preparing to perform.
They just up their like first set, and they're kind of getting ready for like their main performance. Like they've been doing kind of like smaller, just like light performances so that there's like constant music playing, but like the big show with like all of the theatrics and everything that Roland is known for. And so it's kind of just been like her band that's really been playing. She hasn't really taken the stage so much. Like she'll pop in here and there, maybe do a little like acoustic set or something, but her big performances are always at night. And that's kind of what they're doing now, is what they're setting up for. It's a big undertaking.
Yeah. So Lux is looking forward to that. And she gets excited for it every single time. But she's also trying to keep an eye out for like people that look like they might be adventurers, because she wants to spice things up a little bit. Like even though she loves the nightly performances, she's she's getting a little restless and like a little tired of just bussing tables all the time. So she's kind of like spying and like looking around and trying to like listen in on people to see if they're like about to go on an adventure, because she wants to join someone.
Take off. Again, give me either insight or investigation, whichever you kind of think works a little bit better for, you know, being in this busy situation. And you can just roll it flat.
Yeah, I think insight. Ooh, not bad.
Okay, dirty 20. You're wanting to linger for sure because like you're a fan. You love Roland. You love, you know, seeing her perform. You know, she's definitely not the mold for most bards. Like she's covered in these almost, you know, rune and celestial like looking tattoos. Her magic doesn't look like anything anyone's ever seen, and her songs are just out there. And so even when she's not performing, just like her personality is like really big and overwhelming. So as much as like you want to kind of linger and take in everything she's doing, you know better, because Roland's not just the resident bard here at the Reflector. She is your boss's best friend, and you have been told, give a wide berth. So you're hurrying back towards the kitchen, and you definitely have sensed a bit of like a lot more of the adventuring types have come into the city the last couple of days. And so with a dirty 20, I'd say that there isn't any one person in particular you can pick out, but you definitely have the lay of the land as like once the festivities really kick off tonight, you're more than likely probably going to have more opportunities to like kind of nail that information down. So yeah, you make your way towards the kitchen, and how long have you been staying in the Reflector and working? How long has Lux been with us?
That's a good question. I believe like a matter of months, like maybe like 3 months or so.
Like 3 months, I think, is kind of like the conclusion we've come to.
Yeah.
You're also a very personable person. And this is there are a lot of employees here. You know all of them. But you especially know the people that like you really need to know, i.e. your boss, who is the owner, the lovely Rabbit. And you also are very familiar with kind of her right-hand woman who runs the kitchen, which is Kelvin. Do you make any stops or check on any other tables before you make your way into the kitchen, or are you just going to really go ahead, take care of this guy who seemed pretty insistent on his meat and or do you get distracted before you?
Oh, she definitely gets distracted. She kind of like prances across the room and tries to like redirect in areas of the tables that looks like it might be like adventuring parties or something, to try and overhear something and try and like claim those tables first so she can maybe serve them throughout the night and then eventually, talk to them, get to know them or something.
Yeah, so you're going to try and, claim a bit of sections for yourself, because it's pretty loosey-goosey. Like they're not really gonna, you don't have an assigned section. It's more so you kind of show up and you are kind of more or less, you're the floater, like the what's the word? those who have been here, like the servers and bartenders, the veterans who have been here like a really long time, they definitely have like assigned sections. But like Rabbit kind of just threw you to the wolves, so you kind of just float around and you grab tables from all over. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
I like the idea of like maybe they would have tried to give me a section, but
no,
I just never stuck to it, so they kind of gave up at some point. We're just like, let her just do whatever.
You like with disadvantage, actually. Please.
Okay, let me roll again.
Yeah, go ahead and roll again.
See if this is worse. Oh, yep, that's worse.
Yeah. Right here. With a 2, you have taken on, in your attempt to just like make your way to the kitchen for this one order, but also like kind of like nail down like a hot piece of real estate here, you have taken on way too many tables, and now this man isn't just like, he's now like causing a scene at the table. Are you, what do you do? Like it's very obvious you've taken on too much.
Yeah.
Are you gonna just go ahead and make your way to the kitchen? How's Lux gonna handle this little bit of situation?
Yeah. She's gonna be, oh yes, of course. I am I'm heading right back there right now. Here, enjoy this special individualized entertainment. And she like casts like dancing lights to just like twirl around their table to like hopefully distract him as she like hurries to the kitchen.
Give check.
What kind of check? I didn't hear you.
Charisma. Give me a charisma check.
Okay, charisma. All right, just a straight.
You're pretty good at that.
Yeah, just a straight charisma.
Yeah, just straight. Roll it flat.
14.
Okay, with a 14, I will say this man is definitely, he's been here a while, so he's definitely a little bit, not fully there. He's definitely distracted enough for you to pull yourself away and make yourself, head yourself towards the kitchen. And as there fairy lights and magic dance off behind you, distracting this man, we're going to shift our gaze once again to an ornate and gorgeous suite in the lodging and spa section of the Reflector. A marble and glass bath with rainbow steam is rising out and falling off of it in the corner. A beautiful 4-poster bed with sheets made of silver silk and blankets piled on top of a sleeping heap. Nolan, please describe your character as you stir from asleep and awaken.
So Nolan is a wood elf with dark, like art red hair, like very dark red, long red hair all the way down to like his middle back and stuff. He is also a bard, so it tends to be a very special place for bards right now. So he's a bard. His I was gonna say weapon, but his instrument of choice is a lute, and he wears like green bandana around him. He's also like kind of dirty, but not too dirty, like enough. Yeah.
Look a little rough this morning, isn't it?
Yeah. One too many. He tends to drink a lot.
Give me a Constitution saving throw with disadvantage.
Whoa, so let's see. Oh. The first one is a 1. And the second one is 20.
Okay, well, you just rolled a nat 1. You stir from sleep. You're awaking. You hit it way harder last night downstairs than you thought you did. You immediately go to stand up to get out of bed, and you fall down and throw up on the floor next to your bed. Yeah. So for those of us who can't see Nolan's character sheet right now, he has already taken from last night like 4 points of damage. He
worth it.
He had a rough and tumble. So let's flash back to last night. What is Roland doing? You have been at the bar probably for about 4 or 5 hours. You've been enjoying the music, picking up some tips and tricks and ideas for yourself. You're just really vibing. What is this the night before? What does Roland do as you're sitting at the bar looking towards the main stage?
So Nolan takes his his mead, chugs it back, stares at the main stage, and says to himself, "That needs to be me one day. If anyone's gonna be up there, it's gonna be me. Half of these people have no talent. I should be the only bard up on that stage, entertaining everyone. But let me."
As you say that you should be the only bard up on that main stage, you hear a glass shatter. You're sitting at the main bar, and you hear a glass shatter from behind the bar. Give me an insight check. Or investigation, whichever one.
An insight check. Alright. That's plus wisdom, right?
You just click on insight and roll. Yeah.
An 8.
With an 8, it's not uncommon for you to hear, glasses and bowls and things shattering. But as you're kind of, looking around, you're not too worried. Standing before you, a beautiful, tall, red-haired woman with what anyone, magical or otherwise, any person would look at this woman and say, that woman has the perfect body. She is small in just the right spaces. She is curvy in just the right places. Her long red hair, not a single one out of place. Adorned in a gown that is honestly a little shocking for, someone to be wearing behind the bar, even of a tavern as luxurious as this. This woman is more or less overdressed. And she turns from the bar. Glass clearly has shattered in her hand, but before the blood can even begin to to pour across her beautiful porcelain skin. It's gone as she has healed herself, and she turns and she looks at you and says, "Curious that a self-entitled drunkard has been in this town less than a mere hour, which is more than any rodent that scurries in my basements has the audacity to claim this glass stage." What do you do?
So, I look back up for my drink and just, at first, like, about to say something very, very offensive, like, and then I notice this woman that, you know, like you said, like, very beautiful person, and I just shyly just, like, turn and be like, I know that I can come off strong. I turn and say, I know I can come strong, but I'm very determined to be one of the best guards there are. And one day, I would like to see you in the front row. And I take the chunk out of my beer again.
Persuasion check.
Persuasion check.
Persuasion with disadvantage.
With this, oh god. That's charisma, right?
You should have when you go into your skills, you should be able to just click on persuasion and roll that.
Oh, okay, here we go. No, yeah, I'm not used to the app yet. Okay, give me the persuasion. Alright, oh, hell yeah, +4. Let's go. You said with disadvantage, right?
With
The first
disadvantage.
one is 11. And then the second roll is 10.
I want you to know that she adds a +9 to this roll. And she rolled with advantage. And with a natural 19 plus her 9, she simply looks at you, just completely aghast, and says, "Right then, well, be sure to take care of yourself, dearie." And sweeps up some glasses and makes her way off. And then we flash back to you the following day. You've just thrown up on the floor. And you hear a knock at your door. What do you do?
Who is it?
Are you all right in there?
Yeah, I'm fine. Just partaking a little too much last night.
I remember. I don't know if you remember me. I'm the owner of this establishment. My name is Rabbit, and I put you in this room because you nearly, well, we have limits. It may seem like we don't, but you were very much over yours, and I wanted to make sure you were all right. Can I come in?
I look down at the throw up, and I just find the nearest blanket near me and throw it over the throw up to hide it. Before and then I throw it down and just motion her inside. Like, yeah, give me 1 second, and I throw it down. All right, come on in.
She steps into the room. She's like, well, it seems that they did come and make sure that your bath is ready. I wanted to I'm afraid we started out on the wrong foot. See, our resident bard here, Roland, is a good friend of mine, and I took it particularly harsh, and normally I don't do that. But you seemed like you have a lot of real spunk and character in you. What has anyone else been in this room?
Nope. Just I think I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I like you said. You put me up here last night. I think
Sounds like someone died in here.
Yeah, I smell that too. I thought it was weird. Like you should really like have the maids come in more often or something.
Give me a deception check.
Deception. God. Deception. 16. 12 plus 4.
So you said 16 plus 4, so a dirty 20?
Yeah, 12 plus 4. So 16.
12 plus 4, so 16.
Sorry.
Let's see. She makes her way over towards the pile of blankets, and as she gets closer, she just stops and says, "Yep, right, okay. You go ahead, get yourself cleaned up. I will make sure that this entire room is more or less completely taken apart and rebuilt, and we'll move you elsewhere. That is, if you're staying another night, that is. I am not sure of your plans. You can find me or my, any of my patrons downstairs at the main bar near the stage where you found me last night. And just take care of yourself. And she turns to walk away. Is there anything you do before you decide to get ready for your day?
I just go ahead and just like thank you for everything, and thanks for letting this drunken fool stay here. I will think about staying here another night, but I'm not for sure yet. And thank her again.
Good. Just let me know. And you start to get ready to climb into this seemingly magical bath, and Rabbit leaves. And we leave from this beautiful, ornate room and hallways and bar, and gaze shifts lower and lower beneath the tavern to a place where shadows grow and cling to every corner. Water emanates and cascades down stone ceilings, rhythmically slow and somber. Barrels of wine and towering crates of mead that recently unloaded off of the skiffers and ready to be stocked when the flow of merriment begins to die down. A small iron lantern hanging on a moss dew and drenched stone wall illuminates the dark hood of the Reflector's storehouse keeper. They stir, and as they let out a sigh of foreboding, as they rise from their seat, steam rises up out of the dark that covers their face. Max, please describe and introduce your character types.
Max is quite the reserved and mysterious character. He keeps to himself. He does not reveal his face. You can barely tell who he is, just to keep that shroud a mystery. You can tell that he is not from this world, from this realm, as he exhales and smoke plumes from beyond the cloak, the hood of the cloak there. You can tell that this person is a quiet yet calculating character, and is not someone you want to cross.
So you have just had the day's shipment of supplies come in, and it's a much larger shipment than usual. Given the festivities that are going to be taking place tonight. You tend to take care of these deliveries on your own. You're pretty much more or less the only person really who works down here. The courier who also works for Rabbit. You see Masa probably more than you see anyone. He has just left and departed after leaving this this delivery for you. And so do you go ahead and start right away, or are you gonna, work on something else, or prowl around a little bit, or you often wait for your meal to be brought down to you. You get 3 squares a day. You don't really have to interact with a lot of people. It's more or less the perfect job for someone like you, but you are known to periodically go upstairs to get your meal, especially when Rabbit and Kelvin are going to be busy. But it also gives you those small opportunities to seek out pertinent information. What does Max do here in this moment, in this dark place?
From my nice long oak table there, I am definitely going to rise in annoyance as I realize that this shipment is larger than most, and grab my checkboard and definitely mutter to myself as I pace over to this pallet of items. And what in the hell is going on upstairs tonight that we have this exponentially large palette of goods? And begin to pick away at it and begin my inventory management to keep everything in line.
Go ahead and give me either insight or history about kind of like what's going on here at the Reflector tonight.
Well,
that's a 4. You vaguely remember Calvin and Masa mentioning that the next couple of days, and particularly tonight, we're going to be busy. But if it's not information that fuels your inquisitive mind about why you're here in this world, you kind of tend to just not file it away. So the specifics of what's happening tonight are lost on you. And you start checking off, going through going through your list, I want to do something a little interesting. I kind of want to see how fast on your own you can kind of get this done. You can give me either a strength check or a sleight of hand check. And you can do either one of those with advantage.
Oh,
Sleight of hand, 1d4. In your annoyance of this order that is probably double, if not borderline on triple, what you usually do in a single day, let alone a whole week, you kind of just like buckle down. You know where everything is here in this storeroom. You know how much of everything that we have, and you are just, you spreadsheets, lifts, crates. It's the reason that you're the only one down here. And you get down to just the bits and bobs of things that, like, they don't really have a designated place. More or less, they'll probably, Kelvin or Masa or even Rabbit might come down and get them themselves and take them upstairs, because they're not the usual items that we carry for all the time. So you basically have half a pallet of things that you don't even really need to put away at this point. You have burned through this shipment pretty quickly, and now you're left to kind of return to your peace and quiet. Roll me. Well, how does it feel, actually, before we get to that? How does it feel to kind of take more or less 6 hours of work and cut it in half? How does that make Max feel?
Oh, very relaxed. It's just all in a day's work. Even though, a typical shipment would only take about 2.5 hours. Grinding through 6 is not that big of a deal, since I know where all this inventory goes.
As you're starting to feel really relaxed, you're kind of getting into that. You're almost, you did such a good job, and when you can knock something out and it's done to absolute perfection in your eyes, and done with such diligence that it's done before it even needs to be done, the sense of relaxation that hits you, it kind of puts you back into that space where things start to come back. Give me a wisdom saving throw with advantage.
Mm-hmm.
You have entered this place of calm and pride, but those cold and dark corners of this place that you are currently calling your home start getting a little too cold, a little too dark, as you start to remember and drift. And you're not dreaming, you're not having an out-of-body experience, but it's flashes of memories, fire, not fire as you know it, an unnatural fire and unholy magic writhing from it when that flashes. And then a large, black as night ship coming out of a dark, creviced ravine, and then a flash. And then a face starts to, it's a shape, and you know it's a face because it's the shape of a face, but the features, you just can't get them to come in clear enough. But you don't know why or how you know this, but this creature that you're trying to perceive is beautiful, terrifying. And you come back with a start, and you are felt with that sense of urgency that you so very rarely feel, because this is your space where you feel most at ease. But for now, you feel that sense of, I think it's time that I eat dinner upstairs tonight. And we move from this place as you slowly start to make your way up the long corridors and stairs to the main portions of the reflector. We see an all too familiar face. She's beautiful. She's stunning. She is the law of this tavern. And Rabbit has just left our, belligerent bard Nolan's room and has made her way back downstairs, and she weaves herself into the kitchen. She turns the head of all her kitchen staff. It's hard to try and not look at her. She closes the gap between her and Kelvin, glides to the main bar, her trusted bard letting out one last note of a song as she sets up for her performance tonight, finishing her sound check. And Rabbit sets the bowl down in front of this patron. She reaches for an amethyst and crystal teapot with a matching set of jeweled cups and begins to pour with her back turned. And she says, "Masa, my dear, tell me about your day." Masa, can you please describe and introduce your character for us?
I would be playing Masa. Masa is a ASMR. He's sitting at the bench or table near Rabbit. His skin is almost a pearlescent or opalescent even, neon color. As he sits there waiting for this meal that's been placed in front of him, he wears he wears a formal double-breasted lapel topcoat. And as you can see, there is an underlying Mandarian double pocket vest. The colors are vivid. They almost match the surrounding of the bar itself. Deep purples, silver streaks. My day was good. There was way more volume than there should have been. Max was not happy.
Well, if anyone can handle a over shipment for over need. I know it's him. And I'm glad it was good. No trouble on the streets or no information I need to be made aware of, is there? About our comings and goings of our own supplies to or from?
I don't believe so. I've been working for you for so many years. I have no reason to lie.
Masa, darling, I would never, ever accuse you of lying. I just, it's been so busy and I haven't had any time to read over any of the memos from the clerics or from the Roku or from the Palas or even, I dare hate to say it, as the information is valuable even if they are not. The Silver Guard, are trusted protectors of the city. I haven't read over any of our, city documentation for the week, so I just wanted to make sure I hadn't missed anything. No accusations. Masa, give me an insight check.
18.
It's obvious the two of you are so close. There's no need for there to be lies between either one of you. She sees deep into your soul and you see deeply back into hers as you both regard each other with a level of professionalism that has also blossomed into a deep and profound friendship. Masa, I want you to know that Rabbit added a +1 to that roll, and basically the two of you tied in this contest, more or less. So this is how well you have come to know Rabbit in the many years that you have been here in her employ. And as Kelvin, her chef, is her right hand woman, you are her right hand man. Rabbit trusts you implicitly. She smiles and knowing this bond between you, she simply says, well, I am just simply too busy now. Eat up, dear, but before it gets cold or Kelvin will have my ass. And I will see you for tonight's festivities, right? I know it'd mean a great deal to Roland.
Yeah, I'll make an appearance.
I knew you would. And she prances off towards another section of the reflector as you have a beautiful. It's your meal at this point. Kelvin knows just how you like your food, just how you like your tea, and do you dig in right away?
Oh, yeah.
You gain 6 temporary hit points for this wonderful food that comes from a place of love and appreciation. And as you sit here and eat, what is Masa thinking or doing? Is he just, zoned in on this meal? Or, I mean, you're more or less done for the day. The only other thing you have for today is the fact that you have more or less been summoned to attend Roland's performance.
I guess maybe Masa is feeling a little bit coy for using lying towards Bunny. And I think it was more so the shipment that kind of had him off guard. And what he meant is, and even though she's already left, that he would never hide anything from her. And I guess he's also not exactly looking forward to making an appearance, but since Bunny asked.
And you would know that you're more or less the only person who could get away with calling her Bunny. Just about everyone else, it's Miss Rabbit or Ma'am or Madam. And even though you're at this point more or less speaking to yourself in your head, you know that she knows that even when she's not around, she's Bunny. And do you think would you delve any deeper into how big this shipment was, or do you think that Masa would kind of understand it's because of what's going on tonight?
I think it's more because of what's going on tonight. He would leave everything else to Max, since that's more his forte, and I am, in essence, the transporter.
I'll leave this up to you as you're sitting here at the bar. It's definitely getting louder and busier. We're getting, closer and closer to the main stage. You can hear the loud talkings of excitement from tables as they get ready for this performance to start. You definitely hear, more and more dice being rolled over at the casino tables as people, get as many of their winnings in before the casino closes, and they have money to spend in the bar and to tip the performers and, get their merch. You can give me either insight or investigation as you sit here and nom on your meal that you have earned.
20.
20. Oh my goodness.
Damn.
My goodness. All right. With a 20, you see Lux more or less doing everything that they were told not to do. You see Roland and her group making their final little touches and tidbits as we are mere moments away from this performance. But you also start to, it's weird, feel the sea on your body and in the air. And it's not on nor you wouldn't think too much of it. You guys are near the ports, you're near the ships, but it's almost potent as this salt and air of the sea is just hanging so heavy in the air. Is there anything you would want to do about that before we move away from this scene?
Well, since Bunny originally found me at the docks and I have some experience with the surroundings and goings of it, I would probably try and figure out where the scent was coming from.
Give me an Arcana check. It's a flat Arcana check.
17.
It's not actually in the reflector yet. It is something that has been moving and coming and pulling into port for days and weeks, and it is mere moments away from entering into this place. And as you think about that, the smell and your thoughts drift into it. The smell of the rain and the salt swirls through the reflector so deep. And the grand mahogany doors of the main entrance to the reflector swing open with a start as a large gust of wind comes blowing through and almost silencing this roaring and large, beautiful facility. Jupiter, my dear, please describe your character as you make this entrance into the reflector.
So yeah, you're hit with this overwhelming scent of sea salt and like the feel of cold air on your neck, like you're at sea, and you see this 5'8", kind of like dusty periwinkle, pastel blue skin, with like bright teal hair that's just like voluminous and flowing. She's pretty athletic. She's wearing like a billowing white linen top. That was probably a man's that she has converted to be fashion. And she's wearing an underbust corset with a cute little pair of trousers and like knee-high heeled lace-up boots, and like a little cloak and jacket, like a little duster. She's strapped with all her gear and a large pack. But it's like she makes this huge entrance and then all of a sudden it's almost like she's gone as she just like blends into the crowd and kind of slips among the crowd.
Give me first a performance check with advantage.
Ooh.
And then give me just a flat stealth check.
Uh-huh. $19 for the first one. Okay, 19.
So we're gonna go with the 19. We're gonna go with the 19.
I'm gonna go with the 19, and then you said
just a flat stealth. Yeah, you'll roll your stealth flat unless you have some kind of perk that lets you roll it with advantage.
No. It is a proficiency bonus. Oh, okay, 12.
You know what? 12 is good. Given that, you know, this is your whole thing. You know, wind and air, it exists in all spaces. And even though you have just filled this space with all of your presence, and people are shocked and awed and oohed, and before they can even think the phrase, what or who is that, you're gone. Purely gone as you make your way through. You have a couple of choices here, Jupiter. The main entrance into the reflector is this stunning glass like foyer with beautiful seats and cushions and 3 big hallways, one to the right, one to the left, and then one that's just dead center in front of you. Where would Jupiter what sounds or what would lead Jupiter in what direction?
I think that she's looking for like the sound of money being exchanged, coin being exchanged. So probably the casino tables. That's definitely interesting to her.
Yeah. This is your first time in the City of Glass, is it not?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Go ahead and just give me either survival or investigation.
Okay. Let's go survival.
Okay.
Because at this moment she does need to survive. Okay, 13.
It's an easy check. It's a DC 10. It's second nature to you once again. You veer off towards the middle, just making a beeline as you enter a beautiful pink and blue, just grand room, dripping with chandeliers and tables for cards and tables for dice, and you are making your way. And as a matter of fact, if you specifically Jupiter, want to go ahead and move, click on over into roll 20. I'm gonna place your token, and anyone else can pop over there. You all will not be in this room just yet.
I see. Cute. Okay.
And yeah, you have just made your entrance here into this beautiful grand casino.
Love it.
I don't have my people in here just yet, so we're just going to pretend that there are people at these tables right now, and
For
then
sure.
we'll be here next time. Yeah, go ahead and as you enter and you see just about every table is filled, but there's a big sense of urgency going on. Where here in the room would Jupiter want to post herself up? Are we thinking
So I do think that like if this is elevated, which it looks like it maybe is a little, I think she wants to like lean over the edge and kind of get a bird's eye view of like where the high rollers are, like who's got the loose pockets, who's really drunk.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, go ahead and give me an
basically like
yeah,
scoping out a target.
Yeah, go find your target. Yeah, give me investigation.
Okay. Please. Okay.
19. Perfect.
Oh yeah, 19, sorry.
Yeah. So you lean over, and it's not like a huge raise. It's probably, looking over, it's probably about a 5 to 8 foot drop, looking down over. And you see a group of gallishly dressed individuals over here at this dice table.
Okay.
They seem like everyone else who you have kind of clocked in this room, who seems to be kind of trying to wrap up their games with a sense of urgency. They seem a little bit unbothered, and just are ready to kind of keep it going. Would you go ahead and approach, or
Is there anywhere like in here, this room, to get a drink or no?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. There are waiters pretty much more or less everywhere, and they have small stations of drinks. So you would just need to find someone in a purple and silver or a pink and blue, more or less like robe type uniform, and flag them down, and they will gladly take care of you. I will also say this is casino rules. So even if you were to just go ahead and take a seat at a table, within minutes, someone would probably approach and ask if you were drinking or hungry or anything. But if you wanted to get your drink before sitting down, so as to, maybe have a little bit more of a investigation or stealthier approach to this table, you could do that as well.
Yeah, I think that she goes over to like one of the little waiter stations and is just like, hello, love. Would you mind if I grabbed just like a dry martini, 2 olives? Do you have that?
you you see as this person turns towards you that they seem to have a bit of a ghostly like appearance. They are a very pale, almost translucent looking woman. She has kind of a pink ombre to blue bandana on her head, tied in a very humble manner. Her clothes, you see that it's almost like she has like a white gown on, but that these colors of pink and blue and silver and gold are almost transposed on top of them as she turns to face you and says in a hauntingly comforting voice, "Yes, a dry martini, 2 olives. What shelf are we thinking? Are we drinking high or on the lower end? And
Unfortunately, tonight I think I'm going to have to go well.
well,
Unless it's like absolutely repulsive, then just like one
No.
step above.
I can assure you that here at the Reflector, we have something for everyone that will satisfy your quench. Nothing horrid or horrible here. I don't know if this being is something you would have encountered in your other travels throughout this world. If you want, you can give me an Arcana check if you want to know a little bit more about them, or you can move forward with your drink.
Woof. That's a 3.
Yeah. So basically, what you can kind of tell about this person is that they're definitely not dead and they're not a ghost, but they are some form or embodiment of raw magic. And she begins to stir your drink or shake it, however you're taking it, and begins to assist you. Is there anything else you want?
Yes, gorgeous. What is your name?
Thank you for asking. I am Hans. My name is Hans.
Hans? Like these old things.
More or less, yes.
That's beautiful.
You will probably encounter many other young maidens who look much like myself who will also answer to the title or less Hans. You're not from here, are you, darling?
Is it that obvious?
Well, in a sweet way. Very rarely do people ask for a spell's name, but nonetheless, we like it all the same. And as she says that, you more or less kind of come to the conclusion that this woman is the embodiment. She is a living, breathing version of the cantrip Mage Hand. So she is more or less a physical living entity of a spell. She is a living spell. And she makes you, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, well, Hans, love, how much do I owe you for this? Like, takes a sip. The scrumptious drink you've made me.
Well, I see you're eyeing the tables, and just as a house rule, everyone's first time in the reflector, their first drinks on the house,
Is that
and then
right?
your first drink at the table is on the house. So more or less, dear, looks like you've got 2 drinks waiting for you.
A treat it is. Well, so lovely to meet you. I have to go meet some friends, so I'm just gonna catch you around, old handsy.
All right then. And she turns and leaves you as you make your way to the table. Are you going to make a stealthy approach towards this table, or are you just gonna kind of assert you're just gonna stay right down?
So, well, what I want to do is I don't want to sit at the table. I want to kind of like take my martini and like lean up against this pole and like just like stare eyes at whoever looks the richest.
Whoever looks the richest. Yeah, go ahead and just give me one last investigation check to see who's the big
Who's got the swollen pockets?
who's got the deep pocket.
No. 10.
10? Okay, it's fine. It's honestly they're all very wealthy. They're all incredibly wealthy. But you do seem to notice that there's one man in particular who is who's sitting probably closest to you here in this chair. He's in a gold like pantsuit made of silk, no shirt, jewels everywhere. He has a beautiful purple turban wrapped around his head, long black flowing hair pouring out from beneath it. And he kind of seems like everyone here definitely has beyond their means at this table, but he kind of seems to be footing the bill on just about everything else but the gambling. So he's letting them lose all of their money, and he's more or less just kind of riding that high.
Okay. I think like she like just makes eyes for a while, and she also like she is wearing a lot of rings on her fingers, and so I think she kind of just starts like tapping her glass and like making a little tink tink sound as she's watching.
Okay. We're gonna shift from this scene. And I'm actually going to have everyone before we do this, I want to check in with a couple of my other people. Lux, you have gone to the kitchen and are taking care of orders and tables. You've made your way back into the main room. Nolan, you have cleaned yourself up, and I guess, are you making your way back downstairs?
Yes, I'll be making my way back downstairs.
Nolan is making his way downstairs. Max, you have taken the longest possible way you can to get yourself upstairs. You don't really want to come up here, but you just don't want to be down there either. And Masa, are you just gonna keep your perch here at the bar as you wait for the festivities to begin, or are you gonna maybe try and get a closer seat to the stage to make sure that Roland knows that you have granted her wish in being in attendance?
I think he will make himself known,
Okay.
but at the same time, Masa doesn't exactly like large groups of people, even though he has to deal with people on the daily for money.
Great. So everyone has more or less kind of found their way upstairs. Kev, you had said that you're gonna want to talk to Masa. Masa, why don't you go ahead and this center piece right here, this big piece, that's the stage. Post yourself up wherever you would like. Nolan, the same goes for you. And then Kev, you can post yourself up next to Masa once he's picked his spot. And then Lux, you can also post yourself up wherever you please. And then before we get into your little conversation, we're gonna do a roll.
Is the upper part of the pillars accessible?
Yeah.
Like there?
Not, I wouldn't say there, given from where the fact that you just came from the bar.
Okay.
I wouldn't say right away go up there, but anywhere else probably.
Probably tucked back in the corner.
Back in there. And then yeah, if you want to put yourself over there. Nolan,
gonna be down here.
Down there. Fantastic. Okay. I need everyone, including Mo, even though she's not in this room, to roll initiative.
Oh. That's a performance.
A regular initiative, right? Now skill initiative.
Just where it says initiative, you just roll initiative. Lux.
Woo! 18 plus 4, 22.
And okay.
Good so far.
So Nolan,
Awesome.
you said yours was 24?
22.
22. Okay. Jupiter, you got a 10? Or no, an 18. Sorry, my bad. You got an 18. Lux got a 16. Max, you got a 3. And Masa, you got a 7. Okay, so this is not combat. We are not entering into combat as of right now. That might change, but as of right now, this is not combat. This is more or less going to kind of track when things are going to happen and when. We're doing this initiative will be probably a lot different than any of the other initiative roles we make this season. But for now, this is kind of how we're gonna take it. So we shift back to the main stage. Magic, lights, flashes, lightning, sparks, electricity start emanating all around this circular stage, almost like it's spinning around it, generating energy. Bits of steam and smoke and a pink and purple and teal glitter iridescent begin to fall from the ceiling above the stage as the first number of the famous and acclaimed Roland Silstein and her band of Silstites begins the show of all shows. Masa, Max, and Jupiter and Lux wouldn't need to roll this. So really only Nolan, if you want,
me, don't you?
I do. Nolan, if you wanted to make a history check into who Roland Silstein is, you could do so, but you don't have to. And then Mo, since you're in the other room, you would hear this. It's very loud. If you wanted to make an investigation check while you're also trying to get the attention of this wealthy and lavish man, you may also do that. as all of this is kind of happening simultaneously. And as the music gets loud and the song starts, we see Masa and Max off in the corner. Max, you have come up, shockingly, from the depths to have a conversation with Masa and proceed.
Shipment was a little larger than usual, wouldn't you say, Masa?
Yeah. It's gotta be because of this.
I don't remember this being brought up in my details.
I believe it was kind of sudden for everybody.
Fantastic. I always love having more than enough work to do by myself.
I get where you're coming from. It's, way more I had to pick up and move myself.
Well, I suppose that boss man really should, be a little more communicative in the future. But I think I'm gonna head back downstairs and continue eating my meal. I don't have for these festivities and this loud music.
Max, you would know that you're gonna have to go to the kitchen at this point and talk to Kelvin, because as the festivities have started, everyone is busy. So if you wanna do that, you can. If you wanna, you would just know that. No roll needed. You would know that. Masa, is there anything in this moment as Max has kind of proclaimed his frustrations to you? Is there anything else you'd want to say or do as he gets ready to head off to get his food?
I guess that's rabbit for you. But she's our boss for a reason. She knows what she's doing.
So what here?
Love it. Okay. Oh, beautiful. Nolan, did you choose to roll a history check or no?
I'm gonna say no, but I did. No, I did. And I rolled. I rolled a 2.
This is unlike anything you have ever seen from a bard or a troupe of bards. This is otherworldly, and in this moment, you are just you're grasping at straws, trying to not only figure out who this astounding high elf woman and her band is, but what you have been doing with your life as a bard. Lux, you're busy. You're running around, you're grabbing orders, you're clearing plates, you're clearing tables. What are you kind of doing in this moment?
Yeah,
Festivities have begun.
yeah, I would say she's a bit overwhelmed because, like you said, she ended up taking a little too many tables. But she's still, like, her main focus once this show starts, she's just like watching it. Like, she's like, even like when she's carrying drinks, she's like walking sideways, like kind of like dancing sideways. So she like doesn't miss like a single moment. And you even see her like kind of like imitating, like, I don't know if they're like the full performance has started or if they're dancing yet or anything, but if there's like any kind of dancing or performance, she's kind of like imitating it a little bit as she's going.
Full effect. Roland is singing and dancing. Her bassist, this small little, what we would consider a punk rock looking gnome, is just shredding it out. Her dancers are just going crazy. And yeah, you're out here doing your thing. give me first an acrobatics check, and then depending on how that goes, then I'll have you give me a performance check. But give me acrobatics, because you already, oh shit, 25. You are seamlessly moving and dancing, matching the movements of this troupe as you handle your duties. Give me that performance check with advantage.
Oh.
Nat 20. You.
Oh my god.
29.
Let's go.
A natural 20 plus 9. Our first nat 20 of the campaign, guys. Let's go. Hold on. Y'all are about to hear a lot of dice rolling. I promise you don't.
You gotta get bad in some way.
No.
Dancing damage.
Dancing damage. Like 5 hit points.
I'm more or less. I'll tell you guys right now. I am more or less rolling. So like, you've got the nat 20. You've got these moves down. You're not getting anyone's way for once. I just want to get a rough idea of how not only the. Well, first I need to hold on. I gotta do 2 rolls.
Alright guys, I'm watching her real up close to make sure she's not cheating.
Enhance.
No fucking way. Fine. You roll. You're crushing it, Lux, and you catch Roland's eye for the first time in 3 months. And it's not that she's been dismissive to you. It's not that she's been rude. It's not that, she's not been kind or anything like that. It's that she's been very busy. You've been told to give her a wide berth, but she sees you. And not only does she see you, like, just about everyone who is of, like, high standing that is sitting at your table sees you. You have as much of the audience attention as Roland has their attention. And we're gonna come back to that. I want you to, this is what happened. So you rolled a natural 20 plus 9, you get a 29. Roland rolls a 19 plus 10 and ties you for a 29.
Wow.
So she sees you, and then on a whole, everyone who matters rolled like above a 25, except for probably like the other employees. I did like a group roll for the other employees who rolled a natural 1. They're stressed, and you're living your best life. So congratulations. That went very well for you, and it could have gone very badly. We are gonna come back to this in a minute. No, we're gonna stay on this stage map, but because you're more or less kind of, for the most part, gonna be in the same space over here at the casino. On your investigation, you hear this performance going on in the other room, but like that's, and correct me if I'm wrong, that's not really Jupiter's thing. It's not that you don't love a good performance, it's that you're kind of in a bit of a financial bind at this point.
Yeah, she's like, I have nowhere to sleep tonight. I need to secure that before I can relax and enjoy things like a performance.
Yeah, I mean, you came to this world in a pretty major way, and then you kind of had to find your own way around, and you were able to barter your abilities for passage to the City of Glass. But I mean, you had very little money getting on to that ship, and then any stops that were made before you got here took anything else that you had. So you're sitting on, you could maybe get a room for a night, but at that point you're done. So you see this man, he's dripping in gold and jewels and kind of letting everyone else like gamble their money away, but he's like keeping them happy with drinks and food and lavish stories. And as you're tapping your glass and making eyes at him, he finally he finally glances over as in the middle of the sentence, he's like, yes, well, as I was, crossing the sister rivers almighty. Well, hello there. I would say that is something mighty to behold, that I dare be blasphemous. The sisters and those who control those rivers cannot seem to match, my darling. Come join us here. I am Gerald, and I own the market in Market City, and I am here enjoying myself.
I would like to insight this mofo and see if he is full of it or if he actually has money.
Go for it. All right. Come on.
Is he all talk? Market City. Do I know of Market City? I got a 13.
You would have made port in Market City at some point. And with a 13, you would have absolutely, and your time in Market City, have heard of the name Gerald.
Wow.
And you probably did not meet him or see him, but yeah, this man has more money than any god would lawfully allow someone to have. Like, this
Wow.
guy he probably, has chests of his money in his room and just travels, with a lot of money at all times. And it's honestly a bad idea. But he does it because he's Gerald.
So when he kind of, beckons and calls me over, I kind of, and, float over, and I'm like, it cannot be. You are the Gerald of Market City.
My dear, it can and it does. And since you are impressed of knowing who I am, I'm
Indeed, ever so.
Yes, you have excellent taste, and as simple as you may be dressed, I can see your adornments and your abilities are not of that nature, my dear. I see your drink is getting empty. More over here, especially for us, the two of us.
You are far too kind, sir. I'm not worthy of your time, I assure you.
Most not worthy of my time, which is why this is such an honor for you, my darling.
It is indeed, and clever you are to spot my taste for such fine things. However, I've befallen myself, and I seem to be in a bit of a pickle.
Oh, well, I will tell you this, but before I came into such standings as I am, I too found myself in a pickle, which is why I'm so graced to help such a fine maiden of yourself. Now, my dear, who be you? You are clearly not of this plane of existence.
Again, with the cleverness. Indeed. My name is Jupier. And,
Goddess. That is an old goddess name, and so rich to the tongue, if I might say so myself.
you flatter me, truly. So I've recently landed in port, and, I've found myself without a place to rest my head tonight, it seems, and I'm sure a man of your stature has a bed big enough, and she kind of like drips over him, and she's like, to share.
He's eating it up. He's absolutely dripping in like the sleep. You have this guy's number. Like he doesn't care about money. He cares about this. He cares about this. You trick yourself kind of over him, and the conversation of you honing in on all of the many rooms he has rented for the evening continues. We're gonna go back to our group that's watching this performance or making their way to get food. Nolan, as you were sitting here contemplating your own existence and the choices you've made in life, what else are you doing? Are you just gonna sit here in awe, or are you gonna get up and kind of, at this point in the performance, especially given Jupiter and Roland's locking on with each other, are you people have started to dance and mosh and move and more or less be right up on the stage, getting every ounce of this magical performance as they can. Would you join in the dancing and the festivities, or are you just going to sit in awe of what's going on here?
So, what I do, I already have like another beer in me, with me, and I have like a half left, so I just like throw it back, slam it down, and then I get up, and then I do like start joining, but I push my way through the mosh just so I can get like right up next to the rest of the band so they can notice me dancing. And I do my signature dance.
So I first am going to need you to give me a strength check, and I'm gonna need a strength check, and then I'm going to need a performance check.
I want to see the dance.
Alright, so strength is a
check?
14. 12 plus 2 is 14.
Okay.
And then what was the second one?
Performance
check.
You should do
Performance is... It's 4 plus 4, so 8.
I think you have to get one.
I'll give you the performance.
Okay, so here's the deal. You try and push yourself up as close to the stage as you can. And you more or less like get there. There's like maybe one or two people who are like, you know, like when you go to a concert and like you're trying to like secretly like cut in front of someone who's right up on the rail, but they've like linked arms with their best friend and they're like looking at you like, no. That's kind of like what's happening. So like you're right there on the stage, but not really. And I want you to kind of show all of us here a little bit what this is. So what you in your mind thinks it looks like, and then I'm going to tell you what it actually looks like.
All right, I'll show you what I think it looks like in my mind. Give me one second.
Hear this beautiful dance. Oh God, I'm living already. I can't. I love that he's bombing so bad tonight. I can't help it. I'm just dead.
He's made so much room.
This is gonna be great, you guys. It's a great first episode. For glasses out, here we
How
go.
to crack the foot.
So as I'm going through the crowd, I'm like liberating myself up, walking through, get up on the stage, say,
I can't.
What a jig.
Okay. So you are like right. You're as close to the stage as like this group of like 4 women like allow you to get. So you're not right on the stage, but like you're more or less trying to do like an Irish style jig. And like what actually ends up happening is it like looks like the lightsaber kid in his garage, and like and like one of it's loud. So like it's really hard to like, you know, hear people talking unless like you're more kind of like how Max and Masa were, they had pulled themselves away. But it is obvious what one of these like young it's these 4 women, it's 2 half elves, a human, and then this like stocky little like face shaven gnome woman. And they're young, like they're young. I mean, they would be like the equivalent of like teenagers. And this like, sorry, not gnome, dwarf. This clean shaven dwarven girl turns to you and she's like, "You're fucking ruining this entire fucking performance with your ridiculousness, and like you're gonna hurt somebody, okay? Seriously, get over yourself." And she turns down. She is not having it. She's turned her away from you, so you are not. And mind you, I said that very quietly because I'm not trying to blow people's eardrums out, because people will have headphones in when they listen to this. She was screaming at you because it's so loud. So if you want to try and continue this conversation with her, you're going to be yelling at her, but you don't actually have to yell. So if you want to keep trying to talk to her, you're more than welcome to.
So I just yell at her. I'm like, "You know where I come from. This is the dance of my people. How dare you insult me and my people like this?"
Give me a persuasion check. Give me a persuasion check if you want this woman to feel any ounce of remorse for what she just said to you. And keep in mind, she's a
let's go.
mean.
Well, I'm only 105. Okay, so persuasion. Okay, I got a 7 plus 4, so 11. Come on.
Nolan, you're tall, right? You're a wood elf, so like you're pretty tall, right? This is like a 4-foot tall dwarven teenager who just turns back around and looks at you and goes, "You garbage," and just turns back around, and it's just There's nothing else you can say to this woman. Nothing else you can say to this young teenager. She is not impressed. She does not care about your people. Nothing. Masa. Max has just left to go get his food. You are hanging off towards the outskirts. Would you have you and Lux have more or less worked together. Do you think you would have Clock this kind of like connection of the dance between the two of them that Lux and Roland have had on like from stage to floor?
I'm gonna say yes because Masa watches almost all the time for bunny. I mean rabbit.
You're kind of Rabbit's little eyes and ears, and you have on more than one occasion have had to pull Lux aside and be like, settle down there, kiddo. But this is so I'm not gonna make you roll for clocking that, but go ahead and roll whatever check you think would be most fitting for like connecting whatever like emotion or energy or like vibe. Give me like a vibe check. So roll whatever skill you think would be a vibe check for me.
Perception and 10.
10. Say on a 10, you know, it's your main job to make sure that everything gets to the reflector and is safe and protected. But you have kind of taken on this other role for Rabbit of being, you know, her eyes and ears when, you know, she's not around. And I would think with on a 10 that you would know that, like, this is a good thing, and there's no real need for you to kind of intervene here. Luck. We're gonna go back to this natural 20. Are you using? Well, actually, I'm gonna do something a little sneaky. Okay, Lex. Give me a wisdom saving throw.
All right, great at those. Oh, I rolled okay.
16. Yeah, it was a DC 15. So good job. As you lock eyes with Roland, you feel just like without necessarily like your own control or without even thinking about it, your dancing lights spell goes off, and it's not that you didn't cast it, it just when you connected with this person that you would more or less idolize for months, when you finally have that connection with her, you just like instinctively like release all of those emotions that come with feeling seen and validated, and you know, that sense of adventure that you're looking for. You feel it, and as it does, you, against your will, are pulled on and lifted onto the stage, and you are you're short, like you said, you're like 5 foot, right?
Yeah.
Roland towers over you. She's 6'1". She's in her best performance shoes. She's 6'5". She's towering over you. This beautiful, high elf woman, shrouded in now glowing tattoos, long blonde hair that just trussels at the end with steel tips, piercing blue crystal eyes. And she has more or less just like pulled you here onto the stage, and without even like missing a beat, like it's an instrumental part of the song, so there's no lyrics for her to really be worrying about. Convenient DM things you can do. Just conveniently say, I'm in the middle of my song, I don't need to be singing right now. She says, well, all be done there, honey. Welcome to the main stage. Masa, I want to come back to you one more time before we shift back to Jupiter and before we see what's going on with Max in the kitchen. You see this just truly emotionally powerful moment. You see someone's dream become a reality. Would that in any way trigger, good or bad, Masa into that place of what happened to him when he was a child and before he found himself here seeking answers?
I think I'm going to go with, I have a little bit of column A, column B. Like he's almost enters into a panic attack, but recovers after the fact because he realizes where he is. Yeah.
I will make you roll for that panic attack next time, but I'm going to be nice right now. Yeah, you. I don't even think it's that. It's more or less like a negative panic attack. It's kind of like that panic attack that like someone gets when they're just like really overstimulated with like a burst of joy. But yeah, you find yourself back in where you are, and you kind of just live in this moment of joy for your, rowdy little coworker, but also that like, little bit of sorrow that like it's been years and you still don't have answers. Now, you have made your way to the kitchen, and I'm actually going to switch maps really quickly. So, Max, over here on this side of the wall, this is what leads back into the main bar area. And over on this side is kind of the kitchen area. And again, I don't have her token out right now, but Kelvin would be over here. She's cooking, making sure people's orders are going out. She's got a couple of other, chefs and cooks back here with her. Also taking care of things. So yeah, she's gonna be over here. As you make your way into the kitchen to get some food. Would you say, Max, that you're obviously a little bit more comfortable talking with Masa because you interact with him daily, and Rabbit is kind of a little bit more busy, and then Kelvin is kind of that in between. Would you say that you have a bit of a rapport with Kelvin at this point, or is it still kind of I'm here for food and then I'm gonna leave type of thing?
It's more on the I'm here for food and I'm gonna take off.
Great. Yeah, so you see, you know what she looks like, but for everyone else, a beautiful, tall, black woman with long dreads piled up on top of her head. She's younger, but she's built like a rock. Just an absolute unit. She is cut and muscular. She has, a big gaping scar that goes from like one side of her face to the other. But just in her own way, whereas Rabbit is this stunningly gorgeous, almost unnaturally beautiful woman, Calvin is this just natural, beautiful woman who just exudes a sense of strength. And she runs this kitchen like it is all that she has. And so she's kind of, frantic. I mean, it's a busy night. She's frantically moving around and scurrying and doing this, that, or the other. And how in the past have you gotten Kelvin's attention when she's been in kind of this state of like zoned in on what she's doing?
I'd kind of remain out of her way as she's obviously quite busy, but the more the time passes, the more smoke plumes out from underneath my hood with almost disdain as I'm impatiently kept waiting.
Again, Kelvin knows her kitchen very well. She knows where every pot, every pan, where every ounce of steam of anything that would be cooking or is already cooked, ready to go out would be. And she finally clocks this unknown source of steam rising out of a corner. And she finally turns to you and she goes, "Oh, okay. I understand. I know you don't want to be up here. You don't like being up here. You just want to go do your job and you had a long day and you had a lot of extra packages. There is an entire tray of an order that got returned literally 2 seconds ago. They said it was too pretty. I don't know about too pretty food. People like pretty food they want to eat. You can have that, or you're going to have to wait another 5 minutes for your special. Those are your options. Max.
I'll wait for my special.
You know, one of these days you're going to be my friend. And she's like speaking in some language that see here. Remind me again, Max, what languages do you speak?
I speak Elvish. It's over here. Celestial and Thieves' Cant.
So she is speaking more or less a very old and bastardized dialect of Elvish called Kashtara. And you can pick up a word or two here and there. She's not mad at you. She's just also very overworked tonight. So she's like, Koshe, Kage, stop. You finish this order. You take that order. We're shutting down. Kitchen only 30 more minutes. I have to go take care of a very special employee. You all finish this. You got it. If you burn my souffle, you're all fired. I can't replace you, and I will. Actually, I can't replace you. I love all of you very deeply. I'm just very stressed. And so she turns to a more little private area of the kitchen and starts working on your special. Max, what does Max like to eat? What is his whole jam?
Ooh, that is a wonderful question. Max likes lasagna.
So she is she like reaches into a cupboard and pulls out like a piece of dough, and then like she like flattens it out really quickly, and you see just like little bits of frost kind of start to pour over this dough as she's cooling it a little bit, and then she's rolling it out, and then just like she's grabbing like hot coals and your favorite meats, and she's just like boom boom, layer like lasagna, layer, and there's a magic, and then she's shooting fire out of her hands, and then she's cooling it again, and then the coals are being ground in with the meat because she knows you like it a little bit more on the charcoaly side of, and she's like she pulls like a canister or something. She goes, "What is?" Yeah, okay. And just dumps like an entire canister of some kind of spice, and just like fire erupts like out of her little air. She's unbothered, unfazed, and throws it in the oven. And she says, "We're gonna let it naturally cook for like 5 minutes, and then I'll just like finish it off with a quick spout." So, anyway, how'd everything go downstairs? I know it's a lot. It's not my fault.
So one thing that I did not specify with Max is the smoke that comes out from underneath the hood changes with like a mood swing. So it is a very dark black smoke that it kind of pushes out, almost as if it was blown out with a almost like someone was smoking a cigarette, but it's not a white smoke. It's a dark black billowing smoke. But that's the only response.
It wasn't my fault. You want to be mad at someone, you can be mad at that wealthy fool man out at the gambling table, from Market City, who insisted on one more big pyrotechnics performance from Roland before she goes on tour. And he paid a lot of money. Not that Miss Rabbit needs it, but it always helps. There's a raise in your room, by the way. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate it. As, many people overlook my uncanny abilities to keep things organized, as I'm the foundation. Without me, you don't have a kitchen.
Okay, hold on here now. I have never not been grateful, and you know what? There would be a kitchen, because there was a kitchen before you, and there will always be a kitchen here. Always. And she pulls out just a giant tray of lasagna and just like hands it to you. She's like, "Bashke, go be salty somewhere else. Oh, actually, you might want to eat it in here, because I think after the performance we're having a staff meeting. So I don't know if you want to take the 25-minute trip downstairs to eat and then have to come back up almost as soon as you're done."
I am definitely taking that 25-minute trip.
Okay, if you're late.
But I'm gonna cast. I want to do something a little special, because I have telekinetic abilities, and because I am quite annoyed, I'm gonna cast Mage Hand and grab the pretty food that was already sent back. I want to do that.
You're gonna take it with you.
I'm taking everything with me.
Okay.
I work 6 hours a day. I'm hungry.
You're a hungry boy. And so you take back down the stairs. But just as you step out well, actually, we'll do that here in a minute. So you get ready to leave. Jupiter, we're going to come back to you one last. You and Gerald here have been talking for some time and have come to an agreement that he has many an extra room or a shared bed if you're, feeling trusting. I wouldn't want a young woman to feel taken advantage of, darling. But you have come to some kind of agreement. And just as the music from the other room is dying down, and as you're easing your way more and more into his lap and just stroking his ego to a point that is absolutely unnecessary at this point. You have him hook, line, and sinker, but you know what you can do, and you're gonna make sure it happens. The music is dying down. Lux, you are having your first ever real performance of your life. Masa, you are contemplating, answers to questions you have. Nolan, you are trying your absolute best here to impress a group of teenagers who honestly have forgotten you exist at this point. Max, you have started to make your way down to start your long walk. I need everyone to give me one last insight check.
Okay.
Or investigation. It's up to you.
You said everyone?
Everyone.
Oof.
Oh, Masa, you're in your feels, honey. Maybe more than you thought you were. Jupiter, 18. Kevin, Max, you're real mad.
13 for me. 9 plus 4.
13?
Yeah.
Okay. Jupiter and Christian, you got a 15.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Lux, Jupiter, and Nolan, you hear it first. Just as that final note rings out, you hear the sound of unholy screams and wailing coming from what feels like almost your bone. Max and Masa, you feel and hear the aftershock of this effect. And it's the absolute sound of what happens when the living embodiment of a spell is destroyed by magical means. And it's like a million different pieces of wood being incinerated at the same time. And this is magnitude, like this sound is magnified on a scale of like 100 as it rings out across every corner of the reflector. And as the sound of a spell dying goes off, the doors to the reflector are swung open, and someone from off the streets comes running in. They scream, "Inferno Snake!" And with that, we will end our first session.
What?
Once again, thank you guys for joining us. I am your Dungeon Master and Game Master, Tiny. Our lead productionist is our wonderful and tragic wood elf, Nolan, who is played by Wild. Wild, tell us where we can find you.
So you can find me everywhere at Wild Elite Gamer. That's pretty simple. Everywhere. Just search that name up and you'll see the luscious locks.
Our second assistant producer and head of our social media and YouTube channels is the wonderful Christian Martin, who is playing Lux. Christian, tell us a little bit about where we can find you and all of that.
You can find me on Twitter, which I still get on occasionally because I have a problem. As Pixelated Guy, and I think I'm on Blue Sky as Pixelated Void.
The wonderful, sultry voices of our amazing Masa was played by the wonderful Jinma. Jinma, if you want to tell us a little bit about the LLC that you have established with your group of adventurers, as it were.
The LLC that I'll be a part of, and I will get the information to you, is the Crypts and Cryptids. It is growing slowly, but we're getting there.
Hey, that's what matters. And then our wonderful, smoky, angry boy was played by our fantastic Kevin Stopper. Kevin, where can we find you?
On all the real K-stops.
The real K-stops. Thank you. And last but certainly not least, our delicious and delightful vixen of the evening, Miss Jupier, was played by the lovely and talented Mo. Miss Mo, where can we find you?
You can find me on Instagram and TikTok at GoingMomo. I do cosplay and D&D content, so if you like that, that's where I'm at.
We will see you all next time, and thanks for liking and subscribing. See you soon.